It's now Tuesday. Just the day before, Jesus had walked into the temple area, drove out the money changers, and returned to Bethany. Now he returns to the temple and does what was common for a visiting rabbi to do. He teaches and answers questions in the temple courts. This is recorded in Matthew 21 and 22. Then, as a rabbi was expected to do, Jesus went out to the southern steps of the temple, called the Teaching Steps, where he delivered his final sermon. And in this final sermon, recorded in Matthew 23, Jesus calls out one final time to the people of Israel, especially the religious leaders and all those who thought their religious behavior could save them. Now, the Pharisees were looking on from their temple offices just above Jesus as Jesus begged them to see that salvation could only come through his gift. He calls out to them not once, not twice, but 7 times in this final message. You see, at his core, Jesus was a teacher, and not just any teacher. He was the greatest teacher to ever live. Now, every good teacher wants the students to grasp and understand and grow from the message that is crafted for them. How much more so if the teacher knew that this was the one last time to teach? Now, it's hard to imagine all that Jesus must have been feeling and thinking in this moment, but there's at least one element to this scene that we might can relate to if we ask one important question. If I knew that I had one last chance to share a message with the people that I loved, what would that message be? Now, if you or I were in that situation, we would skip all the fluff and get right down to the most important part. Now, no mistake, Jesus does love these people, even those that argued with him. And he does get to the most important part as he calls them out to realize that there's no amount of good behavior that will ever save or be enough for this problem of sin. That we can only be saved by the grace through faith in Jesus Christ. In this final message, we see straight to the heart of Jesus. He did, he does, and he always will long for us to understand and receive his love. And it grieves him that we don't. His love for us is unconditional and unrelenting. It's likely that the thing that we underestimate the most is this love that God has for us through Jesus. And something struggles in us to surrender, to understand the truth of grace. Somehow, surely we're supposed to earn God's love and favor. But the problem is we can't. That our only hope is to trust in Jesus and the love that he has for us. So as you and I look to this Easter, may we do well to pause and remember what happened on this Holy Tuesday. That perhaps deep in our souls, we can stop and reflect on this final message. That behavior is not enough. Rules are not enough. Only Jesus is enough, and thank God that he is. Thank God that he loves me, he loves you, that there'll never, ever, ever be anything that can separate you, can separate me from the love of God.